So I'm going to try to do another video. I've been trying to film this now for 3 days, and each time I film it, something happens technologically speaking. So we're going to attempt it again for the third attempt here. Welcome to Conversations at Carrie's Corner, by the way. I'm Carrie, and I started this podcast as a way to communicate and hopefully get others communicating with each other. And this weekend, that was really, really brought home to me with the amount of demonstrations that we are seeing just across the board. And there's two things that I really want to emphasize in this podcast today, things that we've really got to get a handle on, and two things that I truly just do not understand. We as individuals have the right to freedom of speech, freedom of choice in this amazing United States of America. And I encourage the fact that we are all different. Life would be incredibly awful if we all thought the same way, we all felt the same way, we all believed the same things. It's just not the way it's meant to be. We are meant to be different. And I think that's a fantastic thing, is that we are all different, and we should be. But what I'm struggling to understand is why we cannot be at a place in the evolvement and the maturity of our country where we can't embrace those differences and encourage their maturity civilly. It just astounds me that as a society we are encouraging this division in such violence and hatred as we've never seen, I think, before. And it's really disappointing because Americans are better than this. It's creating a horrible scene, if you will, on the international stage. I can't remember a time, even in some of the darkest times politically, where there has been such vile hatred and vile disgust for a person and a movement supporting that person. It's really unnerving. That's the first thing, is how there can be individuals that want the demise of someone else. I mean, the demise. We've seen this man, President Trump's been almost assassinated twice. And I don't understand how we can even think that that is okay. And there are those that think it's okay, and sorry, very sorry that it didn't, that those assassins weren't successful. How do we encourage that in this country? How have we fallen to such low depths that anyone would find that a success? It's disturbing. And we have young, impressionable people that obviously are watching and taking matters into their own hands, and that's even more disturbing. We have Americans, innocent Americans, who've been injured or worse, killed because of this cancerous hatred for another human. And I get it that you don't like him. I get all of that. I don't like a lot of people too, but I'm not hoping that they will be killed. And that's what we're seeing. We're hearing every day that people are calling for this man's demise. Really, we have sunk that low in this grand country that the death of another person is going to be rejoiced and celebrated. That's a very, very disturbing thought. And I don't know how we fix that. How do we allow it? We can't as a society. And then the second thing is, where has the respect for our country gone? The processes. It's just gone. We have sitting government representatives who have lost all complete respect for the processes, the government, the institution, the elections, the appointment of cabinet, the sitting House of Representatives and the sitting Senate, and they have completely thrown away the respect for the institutions of this country and the offices of this country. The president, the vice president, the cabinet, the Senate, the House of Representatives, all in the name and the justification of hate. For months and months, we heard this man called Hitler and Mussolini and vile, despicable things. But those who are encouraging this are the epitome of what those horrific individuals stood for. And there are way too many that are glorifying and justifying that position. How can we as Americans allow this? Beyond my comprehension that we are going to allow these things to happen in the greatest country on earth. This is the seed of cancer that is destroying our country. And if we as citizens do not say that this is not okay, the cancer is going to grow, it's going to metastasize, and it's going to bring down our country. You don't have to like who's elected. You have to respect the process of the election, and you have to respect the results of the election. And yes, on January 6th, there were some Americans that took to the halls of our government and displayed their absolute disrespect for the election. Was it right? No. Did they have the right to demonstrate? Yes. Were they punished? Yes. So why are we not seeing anybody held accountable for what we are now seeing? And how can Americans continue to turn their back on the millions of dollars that you and I have paid into our government that have been funneled to sitting House members, sitting congressmen or women, foreign governments, terrorist organizations? I mean, it's staggering. And as somebody who's watching all of this, I just cannot get my head around how there are so many hoping and praying for the worst thing that could happen, which will be the catalyst for the destruction of our government, for the destruction of our nation. And yet, I'm not hearing enough of other Americans to call out this barbaric destructive call to action. Why? Do we really think that our country can survive a civil war? Do we really think our country can survive an assassination of another president? How can you think that is going to be a positive thing? How? Why? It just is mind-boggling to me that anyone would be okay with any of this. If you're not okay with it, why aren't you speaking up? I believe everyone has the right to their own opinion. I'm going to disagree with it if I disagree, and I'm going to verbally do that. But I'm not going to attack the person that's disagreeing with me. I'm talking about the ideology, not the person. Why is there such a difficult... I'm just lost. And I'm worried for our country. I'm worried for my children and their grandchildren. Is there going to be anything left if we allow this vicious division to continue to grow and not calling it out to stop it and making any effort to stop it, but we are encouraging its growth? We as Americans have got to stand up and figure out a way to get back to the middle and talk to each other. That's what this podcast is all about. I don't see us going forward. I see us taking step after step after step after step in the wrong direction. The only way that I know to even try to fix it is to get the communication started. But when only one side of the communication wants to do it rationally and civilly, I just don't know. I find myself in situations with people I've known years, and I just completely avoid because for fear of such a division that I would lose that person, and I'm not willing to risk that. And that in and of itself is a sad commentary of where we are. That we can't communicate with people we've known for decades for fear of losing that relationship. I just don't know how we get past this. I'd love to know your thoughts, because I'm at a loss. The hatred that's in this country will destroy it if we don't figure out a way to resolve it. That's what I know. That's what I feel. And I know there's many others that are feeling the same way. I guess the question is, are we going to continue to allow it to happen? Because I'm sure not hearing enough people calling it out and trying to fix it before it does split us in half completely, irrevocably, forever. What do you think?